You expect me to wake up 6 a.m. every morning to cook food for you? Hi guys,
Hi,
welcome back to our channel.
yeah,
We are
the
the Ajais.
Ajais,
I am Dara.
and I'm Bolaji.
Alright, so for those of you that are new here, we welcome you and would like for you to subscribe. So please subscribe, watch our videos, and also like. And to our faithful subscribers,
Yeah,
thank you once
thank
again
you,
for
thank
watching.
you. Today we are going to be discussing a very interesting topic, and it is managing expectations in marriage. So, what are expectations? Expectations are things that you want to happen
In the future.
in the future,
Yeah.
actions that you want someone to take, or occurrences or situations that you would want to happen in the future,
Yeah.
basically.
So everybody has expectation. I have an expectation. He also has expectation, I'm sure. And before we got married, we had expectations. I had expectation of what I wanted my marriage to be, what I wanted him to be, what I wanted myself as a wife to be. I'm sure he also had his own expectation because right, it's natural. It's natural for everyone to have an expectation. But then you need to know how to manage expectations because some expectations are some expectations are wild. Let me put it that way. And so it's important that you know how to manage it, so you don't end up being sad, angry, disappointed at your partner.
So, expectations can be biased,
Yeah.
can be subjective,
Mm-hmm.
can be it's like opinions, and
Yeah.
it differs.
Mm-hmm.
My expectation differs from your expectation. For example, my expectation in marriage can be my wife would, when she wants to serve me, kneel down with her two knees to serve me, you know. And our expectations might be okay. Um, let me just bring something. Let me just peck him, and do you understand? So our expectations are are different. My expectations might be different from my own expectations. So it is very, very important for you to discuss expectations and to manage expectations.
Yeah, like you said, discussing expectation. Please discuss it, communicate with your partner. This is what I expect from you. This is what I expect from our relationship. The both of you should talk about your expectations. Because if you don't discuss it, how is the partner supposed to know that, oh, this is what you want? Do you get? So assuming he expects me to kneel down to serve him his food, and then he doesn't communicate it to me. And every time I bring his food, I put it, and then I see that he's always angry,
Always
or his
get
face
angry.
just change. And me, I'm not. Me, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just carrying food, placing in front of him, carrying food, placing in front of him. Oh yeah, eat. It's time for you to eat. And inside, he's like, no, this woman is not. She's not
She's not
respecting me. She
respectful.
doesn't know what I like.
Yes.
All those kind of things. But that's because you didn't communicate it.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's important that you communicate your expectation, and it's very important you do this before marriage. But then if you're already married, it's still important you communicate even as you're married. Okay. Before you go into marriage, it's important that you sit down and discuss your expectation. Okay, as a partner, what are we expecting in our marriage? What do you expect me to wake up 6 a.m. every morning to cook food for you? Do you expect me to pound yam 4 times a week for you? Do I expect you to give me like 2 million naira every 2 weeks? You know, you know. So,
Yeah.
or you understand.
All
So
those are
it's
valid
important we actually
expectations.
discuss it because what happens is that most times people actually enter relationships or go into marriage and then their eyes clear and like all the expectation, all the things they expected from their partner, they don't see and they're like, that's
It's
so.
so marriage they be. Yeah, as important as when you're getting into a relationship and you set boundaries,
Mm,
it's also important for you to set expectations, to
mm,
talk about your
yeah.
expectations with your
Expectations are
spouse.
good. It's not
Yeah,
like they're bad.
they're not bad. They're
No,
not
no,
bad.
no. Everybody should have an expectation.
It's natural. So we have two types of expectation.
Yeah.
We have the realistic expectations and we have the unrealistic expectations.
Mm-hmm.
The unrealistic expectations, they're just as the name sounds, they are unrealistic. Like they're unrealistic. Like for example, expecting your partner, your spouse
Mm.
to change their values or to change who they are. You are just placing an unrealistic expectation because
Can I say another one?
okay.
One that is very common. You get married to this person and then you now expect him or her to change their friends or to stop talking to their friends or even for how now?
How
How?
how now?
So that's an example of
Yeah.
unrealistic
Yeah,
expectation.
another example of unrealistic expectation is expecting that your partner will always be your source of happiness. Like
Mm,
expecting your partner to always make you happy at all times, to always is
true, true.
unrealistic.
Yeah.
We derive happiness from different things in our
Mm,
life. So you can't just expect your partner
mm,
to be the only source of happiness
mm.
in your entire life.
Exactly. Like some people, even you hear some people say that if I should just get married like this, I'll be happy. I will be the happier. Like I'll be extra. I'll be. I'm done for life. Like that's setting your marriage like
Mm,
the bar. I don't even know the expectation too much. That means you're going with the mindset that once you get married, you expect that you'll always be happy because you are
you're
married,
married.
because you have a husband, because you have a wife. And at the end of the day, you find out that you enter the marriage, you might not be happy
Mm,
because you always expect happiness to come from your spouse. You expect that, oh, this is my only source of happiness. Without this thing, I am not happy. That's unrealistic. Another unrealistic um, expectation is expecting perfection
hmm.
from your partner. Come on, we are not perfect.
Nobody's
I
perfect.
am not perfect,
It's only
so
God that is perfect. We are
he is
all
not
working
perfect.
towards perfection. So,
Exactly. Yeah, so we're striving to be better. That's
mm,
just it. And the way we strive to be better is by, reading books, marriage books that would help us get better.
yes,
We look
yes,
for ways to actually get better, ways to
yes.
watch some videos that we know would help in getting better. Then we also to seek counsel that would help us in getting better. The point is like nobody is perfect.
Yeah,
So don't
exactly.
come to a relationship or a marriage and expect that, oh, my wife must be perfect. The way she dresses must be perfect. The way she talks, even when she's sleeping, she must not snore. She must not fart. She
Oh
must
God.
not abba. Calm
Abba,
down.
come. All of these things are, some of these things are because of what we watch. You
On
know,
social media.
all this Hollywood
Okay, yeah, yeah.
perfect fantasy
And they lived
kind of
and they lived
marriage.
and they lived happily ever
I
after.
believe happily ever after. That kind of those kind of things are the things that just set us up to raise
Mm-hmm.
our level of expectations
Mm-hmm.
in marriages. And to be honest with you, majority of all these marriages are not like those Hollywood
Yeah,
marriages.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
there are no everybody will tell you there are no two marriage that are the same.
yeah. Exactly.
Even if the model of your parents' marriage are working, it might not definitely mean that their own model, if you use it in your marriage, will
Mm.
work for you. So let's learn to have realistic and not unrealistic expectations.
Alright. So another source of unrealistic expectation is the social media.
Yes.
Ah,
Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or
the things we see on
TikTok.
the things we see on social media, like even aside marriage, sometimes when you see some people, you feel like you start expecting so much of
Mm,
yourself, and then
mm,
you start being sad, being ungrateful for what you have.
mm.
Now bring it into marriage. You can just be scrolling on Instagram, you see this couple now,
Ah,
see how
see them.
he just bought her
Mm,
a what now, a Lamborghini.
mm,
And the husband will be like, see this couple. She just did what's now, a surprise something, a
mm,
surprise party for the husband. See,
mm.
the wife I have at home, she will not even think of all those kind of things. Very unromantic woman. You don't even know what those couple you're seeing on social media is passing through. You don't know if it's
Exactly.
all for picture and show. You
Exactly.
get
And
so
you don't even know if it's just for the money.
at the end of the day, you go home. You already it actually sows a seed of like
Discord.
discord, disappointment.
Mm,
Feeling like you're not getting enough. Feeling like this person where I marry, so you understand. So
mm.
it's already sowing that seed, and if you keep on, watching those things, not that to watch it, but don't now make it, you know, don't base your expectation on other people's
On what you
relationship
see on
or on what
social
you see on
media.
social media. It's unrealistic.
It's
It is
unrealistic.
unrealistic. I beg. All right. So let's talk about reasonable expectation
Mm,
or realistic expectation. Now, this kind of expectation, the expectations that are realistic, they are reasonable. You get, and these expectations are like generally speaking in a relationship. You expect faithfulness
mm,
in
mm.
generally like in
Generally.
relationship. You expect your partner to be faithful to you. You expect your partner to um
Mm.
love you
Affection.
unconditionally. You
Affection.
expect affection, you expect support,
Mm.
you expect you know you guys to grow together. Those are just general
Yeah.
expectations.
Truthfulness,
Yeah.
honesty,
uh
accountability.
exactly. Financial accountability,
Accountability.
accountability all around.
Mm.
So expectations are not bad, they're actually good.
Yeah.
They're actually It's good because it makes you both understand, okay, where you stand, what is expected, and how to go about it. So expectations are not bad.
Mm.
Now, there are expectations that are not like not so general. No, they are particular to a couple.
Mm.
Like now in a relationship, there are things I expect of him,
Mm.
reasonable or realistic expectations that
Mm.
I have, for of him, that you do not necessarily have to, have that same expectation of
Expectations
your
in your
partner.
own.
Because
Mm.
why our relationship is different from yours.
Exactly.
Okay, so I can expect that he would what now? I can expect that, okay, he would we sit down together, we are financially accountable to each other. We sit down together and we look at our finances together. Why? Because that's the kind of relationship we have with
Mm.
our finances. We have financial meetings, if I should call it that, an analysis together. But then it might not be the same for you and your partner. You get, so this is why it's important not to compare your relationship. Know what works for you, know what is particular to your own
Mm.
relationship. Okay, maybe you and your partner don't even sit down to discuss finance. Okay, so know what actually works for you and expect the same. So realistic expectations are good, they are great in
Valid.
relationship, they are valid.
Yeah. And most importantly, like you said, you have to communicate. You have
Mm-hmm.
to communicate. Keep communicating your expectations. Keep saying what you want your spouse to do for you. Let there be effective communication of your expectations so that the two of you
Mm.
will be on the same
Page,
page.
yeah.
And when you don't communicate your expectations,
Mm.
the person you marry cannot
Cannot read your
see
mind.
through you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Are not
So
right mind readers.
so if you don't say it, if you don't tell me what I'm supposed to do, I might not see it as
Mm.
something, and it might be hurting you.
I want to share a personal experience. Okay, we got married, when we first got married, those first few months. And like I think I've shared this before. I don't know if it was in one of our videos or in a gathering, I can't remember. Anyway, so we had like an electrical fault in the house. I think it had to do with connecting cables, electricity and all. And I expected my husband to, go and fix it, so that we could have light in the house. I think it had to do with our light outside and all. And I expected you to go outside and you fix it. And then you're like, no, I should call electrician. No, you're not touching it. And then I'm like, why? Now you're supposed to do this. This is what my dad used to do too in our house.
Okay,
And he was like, I'm not your dad.
I'm not your dad.
I'm not your dad. And that was like I expected him to be like my dad in that moment. I expected him to, go out and fix it because that's actually what he does. You know, if there's like anything, any fault in the house, electrical, plumbing, he actually fixes it. So I expected that of my husband. But then that's why I said, don't compare your marriage, don't compare your relationship. He's not my dad. Okay, he has his own strengths, things he's good at, and so I shouldn't expect him to do what my dad does or what my dad did for us when we were small and little, because that's not who he is. And so that was like an unrealistic expectation at that time.
Mm.
So that was the example I wanted to share.
Okay. Thank God you said it out.
Yeah.
That's my dad used to do it
Mm-hmm.
because in you, you might be feeling, you might be thinking, okay, this man is supposed to do it, this man is supposed to do it,
Mm,
and thank God you even said that your dad, so that I will understand where you are coming from, and I
yeah,
understood
right.
it, and I said, I am not Babanu Fushi. I'm
And
not.
you know when you actually said it, it now hit me that it's true. You get, because it made me feel like we know the way I grew up in that house where my dad was always handy, always doing fixing things. It made me feel like every other man should be a fixer. Do you understand?
Mm,
That's the way it made me feel.
mm,
But when you now say I'm not your dad, is there that hits me that not true? You're actually not my dad. You don't have to fix things. The other things you fix, but maybe not cables, electricity, and all those kind of things. That made me think to even my brothers at home. Yes, so they don't fix things. So I just had this expectation in my head that my husband too will be a fixer when it comes to electrical things and all. So that's even another great point.
mm.
Another thing people do that is not really healthy is like having carrying expectations from past relationships or their parents' marriages into their own marriage. You expect that, oh, my dad did this, my mom did this, so you're supposed to do this. My mom pounded yam with her hand with mortar and pestle. So you too, even though you can use a food processor, I want you to also pound like her. That's not a good expectation at all. So we shouldn't like expect things from our partner based on the relationship of our parents, especially when they are unrealistic expectations.
So, how to manage expectations?
Mm-hmm.
How do we manage expectations? I believe the first thing for you to do in marriage is for you to understand your partner,
Yeah.
understand who they are. We
Mm-hmm.
have different personalities.
Mm.
There are books on personalities. Are they gentle? Are they introverts? Are they
Yeah.
extroverts? What are the things they like? Can even guess the expectations of your partner without even asking them. Once you
Mm.
know them, once you study them well, you know the things they like doing,
Mm-hmm.
know when they enter the house, where they go immediately, when they are going out, the kind of outfit they wear, and what they expect you to wear also.
Mm.
I think the first thing that you need to do for you to manage expectations is know who you marry, know your
Yeah.
spouse, know your partner, know how they feel, know when they are sad, know when they are angry, know when they are happy, what
Mm.
triggers them,
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
everything.
Another thing that's important is communication. We've said this over and
And
over
over.
and over, even in the previous videos, the anger management video. By the way, if you not watch our previous video and anger management
Management
101,
101.
part 1 and part 2, please do so. In those videos, we also talked about communication.
Mm.
We cannot overemphasize the importance of
Of
communication
communication.
in relationships. It's very important. And it's not just about communicating, it's also about getting feedback. It has to be effective communication.
Mm.
And effective communication means there's a feedback, there's a response that shows, oh, I understand exactly what you were communicating to me. So, you have to communicate your expectations.
When you're communicating, like you said, there must be feedback. And
Mm,
even before the feedback, learn to listen. Learn to listen. Most times we don't listen when our spouse are talking or
yeah.
saying some things to us. We just
Mm.
hear it and just it goes like this. So
Mm-hmm.
most times it's very important for us to listen when we are
Yeah.
communicating also. Listen and give feedback.
Mm.
If it's a thing you can do, tell the person that this is what I can do. If it's a thing that you cannot do, it's
You need to talk
you need to
about it.
talk about it
I
and
think
look
that's
for a
very
way around or ways around that situation.
That's where negotiating and also compromising comes into
Yeah.
place. You know, you need to negotiate. Negotiate in marriage, oh. So maybe you want me to cook, you want me to pound yam, let's say 5 times a week, and I'm like, babe, I'm working, I cannot do this. You now say, okay, but you have to pound yam for me every week, oh. And I'll be like, you'll now be like, okay, when can you pound yam? I say, maybe weekend. That's your yeah, and let's make it weekends. In that way, you've negotiated. So your expectation when you're communicating your expectation is not like saying this is it,
Yes.
babe. We must do
Do
this.
this.
It's not cast in stone.
Mm.
You have to negotiate. You have to compromise. You have to meet at the middle.
So another way to manage expectations in relationship is respecting each other's opinion, respecting each other's views, respecting each other's expectations. You don't have to just make the expectation of your partner invalid when they are trying to communicate, when they've studied you, when they are trying to communicate their expectations to you. You have to respect where they're coming from. You have to respect that the fact that they have different opinions, they have different backgrounds, they have different experiences, and all these things all these things are things that define their personality,
Yeah.
are the things that makes them who
Yeah.
they are. So they might base expectations along the way of all those things, of all the relationships they've had, the background they have had. So they might base their expectation of on all these things. So don't make their expectations or don't make their opinions invalid. Don't just sweep it aside. Don't just make it look like as if they're not there. They are entitled. Everybody's entitled to have his or her own opinion and expectations.
Yeah. Another way of managing expectations in relationships or in marriage is by ensuring that you don't compare your relationship with another person's relationship. Okay, I am unique, he is unique, so what we have, our relationship, our marriage is unique. So it won't make any sense for me to compare him with someone else because they are two different individuals. It won't make sense for me to compare what we have with another person's relationship. Okay, so it's important that you don't compare your relationship with another person's relationship because most of the times what you see is not truly
What it is.
what it is. You understand? So it actually kills relationship. You know, comparison, saying, "Oh, my brother's wife knows how to cook all the Nigerian dishes. You don't even know how to cook." No. So it's important that you don't compare your relationship. Do you? Don't compare.
Do you? Don't compare.
Apart from what we've mentioned, we have other ways you can manage your expectations in your relationships, and I'm just going to breeze over them. Prioritize appreciation over expectation. Okay, prioritize appreciation. Appreciation is more important than expectation. So even if your partner has not done exactly what you expect them, the fact that they've done something on it or even other things,
Yeah.
prioritize your appreciation to them.
Yeah.
Then also demonstrate consideration. Show consideration. Okay, show consideration. When you set an expectation, it's good that you also consider your partner. Can my partner do this? Okay, if not, you negotiate. You say, okay, let's negotiate. Let's see how we can compromise, meet in the middle. Okay, another way is to understand the nature of your relationship. I think we've talked about this over and over again. Understand your partner, understand your relationship, where you are, okay, and what you want. All right. Then another thing is to never threaten your relationship for anything and also never compare your relationship. Okay, so that's actually how to manage expectations in relationships.
If you have ways you manage your expectations in a relationship, just drop it in the comment section.
Let
Let
us
us
know.
know.
Till next time, we are the
The
Ajays.
Ajays.
Bye.
Bye.